Hello everyone, welcome back to another survival Minecraft episode here on the SMP server World of Solitude, and today we are going to be building the Sugarcane Farm. So sit back, relax, and let's jump into it. Alright, before we get too carried away though, there's a few things that I need to show you. So let's run around here real quick. First things first, I made some changes over at the mushroom farm. So let's just whip over here. The last episode we did the mushroom farm, and I did add in a railing here now so that we can reach the mushrooms that extend out beyond where we were reaching before, and we don't have to worry about falling in. And then of course I did kind of change it up to the white concrete and white quartz and some brown concrete just to kind of match everything else that we've been doing around here with the more modern look to the build and stuff. So that part has changed, and of course we've been making some mushrooms and we've got our bone meal and stuff, so that is all totally ready to go. Next is we did put a building around the wool farm. So the wool farm now is completely all locked up in its building here. All the sheep are all tucked inside up here, and then it all comes down to an auto sorting system that's down here with all of the various different types of colors of wool all set aside, completely separate from the other auto sorting system over there. So yeah, that's what we've been able to get done. So now this is where the old sugarcane farm was. I tore it all out. We leveled this up. I brought my materials out to get things all set up. So now it's time to get it going, and we're basing our sugarcane farm off of Tango Tech's video that he released here just over a week ago, and I'm going to put a link of that in the description below because it's a fantastic tutorial on building a 100% lossless sugarcane farm that is fairly reasonable in materials as well too. So alright, let's just get started. Okay, to get things started, we are going to lay out a 8-block slab here. So we're just going to go starting right from here. The very back is this section here, and we're going to start from here, and it's going to be 8 blocks. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we've got 8 blocks set up here. Next thing we're going to come off of that is we are going to go with 2 rows of dirt off of that. So coming from right here, we'll just come off the side of it like so, and 2 rows of dirt. And the reason for 8 is because of flow of water. It can only go 8 blocks. So we're just come off this way now as well, and of course doing some derpy block placements like I usually do. So nothing new there. And then we're going to need a back block on this as well too, so we're just going to place that right here. There we go. So now we've got our basic little platform set up here. Now we are going to get some water flowing in this, and the other thing that we need is we're going to put a stair at this end. We're going to waterlog it, and then once we get all source water through here, then we're going to slab the top of it just to keep it all contained and keep it cleaned up a little bit. So bear with me while I grab some slabs and stairs. Okay, I've gone and thrown a stair down here, and a little trick is if you keep 2 water buckets with you, we can do the first one like so, grab a second one and put it on the 3rd block. It creates an infinite water source right here, so then we could just start grabbing from there, and all the way along we can fill in all this water, and then don't forget to actually waterlog the stair as well. Perfect, just like that. Next thing, switch over to our slabs, and we're going to top slab this so that they end up being waterlogged slabs that are here. Alright, now it's time to get ready for our piston placement. So basically what we need to do from here is we are going to come up right here and step over just one more here, just like so, and we are going to throw our pistons facing inwards like so. And now that we got the first one up here, we can just run all the way along with the rest of these, and we're going to do it on both sides. So the way this farm works here is it's completely, we're just building one module right now here. It is completely modular. Tango Tech does a phenomenal job of kind of explaining it a little bit better than I'm doing here. But we're going to be able to add on to, you know, more modules here to be able to have a massive amount of sugarcane growing from here. So we're just putting the pistons down this side like so. There we go. We've got that in place now. So we can get rid of these excess dirt blocks we've got here because we won't need those anymore. That one can go. And this can go. Okay, so now that we got our pistons all laid out here, we need to go with some solid blocks on the top of them. So we're just going to hop up here, and I'm using lime green here because, of course, everything that we do on our base here, we're color coding. The sheep farm is got like all different colors of stained glass built into it so that it signifies all of the basically the rainbow of colors that we can get out of the sheep farm, the wool farm that's there. Yellow's for the honeybees. We've got purple for the purp. We got brown for the mushroom farm that's over there. Our gold farm has got the yellow terracotta on it. We got red around kind of our energy building or whatnot. So everything bit by bit here is all a little bit color coded. So we're going to keep going with that theme here on this one. So I'm just going to quickly run through. We're going to throw all this down, and then we'll grab the next step here, which is grabbing some observers. All right, with the observers, we're at the back of the farm here right now, and we're going to throw an observer that is facing this row here. So I'm just going to bust this one out here. So it's facing, watching anything that happens. Basically, it's going to be observing this block here for any change that's on it. Right in front of its little face here. And then the other thing is we need to put one directly on top of it like so. And then we are going to throw another solid block there and a solid block right there. And then we can run down here with some redstone dust down the entire length here that basically will trigger this side when it sees something change over here. For instance, I put that out there and of course it fires it all. I bust that off and it does it again. So that's observing the growth of this particular one here. So now we got to go and duplicate it on the other side. Okay, so for this side, if we go ahead and throw the observers down here the exact same way, this would basically be like a standalone module that we're going to have here. If this is how you wanted your farm. If you just wanted this one singular little pod here, then all you would need to do is set this up just like this, run the dust down here like so, and then now this side will observe and activate here. If you're planning on adding a second module on that side and say another module on that side, that type of thing, this particular side doesn't end up needing these observers here because they'll actually run off the observers on the other side here. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. So since we are doing this as a multiple moduled farm, I want to put in at least 3 wide and at least 2, maybe 3 deep on this, and then probably 3 high as well. We're going to make a lot of sugarcane on this, so that's why I am going to do it this way. So what we're going to do now is run over here. You're going to grab some glass, and we're going to throw some glass. It doesn't need to be glass. You don't have to do this with glass, but it gives you the opportunity. Tango Tech did it, and it actually looked really good because you can kind of see what's happening in the farm. And of course, you do need to be able to navigate around your blocks here. So that's glass all the way up that way, and then it is concrete or whatever solid block you choose to use all the way up on this side. So, and then I'm just going to close this one. Actually, I think that one might have to stay open, but we'll keep that solid at this point because we'll be able to clean into this once we start getting the next module in place. So let's continue on with the next step. Okay, so now that we're down here and we've got the observer sit in, this wall's all blocked off here, we can go ahead and throw some sugarcane in here, and we're going to fire those all down here. Of course, when we put the first piece of sugarcane in here, the observer noticed it, triggered it, and fired the pistons. It's not going to do it on this side because obviously this side isn't powered, because it'll get powered when we add in the next module here. So now that that's all in place, the next phase we got to do is we've got to put some flowing water that basically runs this whole distance, and it will stop right here. And basically any sugarcane that lands in here is going to fly or go all the way down to the end there. So if I throw that in, of course, let's actually throw it in the water system like so. You see it shoots off, runs down to the end, and runs off. So now the next thing that we've got to do is make it so, like that first piece of sugarcane that I threw there, how it got hung up there, we're going to make it so this can't get hung up at all. So I got to get back up there, and then we're going to put in a little dividing piece. Okay, now that I'm back up here, we're going to throw a divider in here, and it is actually going to be iron bars, and it's going on this middle block here, right in line with this observer, in line with the pistons here. We're just going to go ahead and slap these all the way along here like so, and we're going to take this all the way down to the end. And basically what this does is when the piston pushes this, the sugarcane will fly off the piston, hit this, fall straight down. It won't just like block and break and end up sticking right on this edge. It flies to here, drops down, and stays in the middle. And then you don't have to worry about items getting hung up along the side of the sugarcane blocks here. Now the next thing we got to do is we're going to put some solid blocks on the top of this. Now, if you're only doing one single module, it can be any solid block that you want. But if you're planning on adding a farm on top of this as well, you're going to want to run along here with some dirt. And as you can see, the sugarcane just grew on that one, and it triggered it and fired off. But I'm not entirely sure where the sugarcane may have went. I wonder if it actually observed us moving around on this. Not entirely sure why that triggered. It shouldn't have triggered, but now we're going to just bring this all along here. So now we have the dirt set up here for the second module if we wanted to add one. Okay, so now that we have this module completed, we want to look at extending this module to add another one in front of it, and maybe another one in front of that again. So to do that, all we need to do is grab some packed ice, and we're going to throw some packed ice up on here. And then we are going to grab a pressure plate, stone pressure plate, and we're just going to throw it right there. And then we'll block in this end, and then we can get started with what's going to happen with the next module that's added here. So I just got to make my way up top there, and then we can get on with the next module. Okay, now that I've made my way back up here, we are just going to add some solid blocks on each end here, just like so. And then we are also going to add some glass blocks. Let me just grab my glass here. We're going to stick that right there and right there. And so now what we can do is this is going to be basically exactly how we just built the other side. So we're going to grab our dirt here, and we're going to come down here like so. We're going to go 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now that we've got that in place, then we can put down our lower row here, and we're just going to start building the exact same module that we just built right here. But this time, we're not going to have the observers on this time because we are going to be powering off the existing observer that's already there. And with that, we'll just throw a repeater up there. But I'll show you that once I get the module in place here. Okay, now that we have the second module up here, we need to extend this redstone. Now, because you don't really need to have multiple repeaters up here for this, I'm actually just going to do it with this one repeater on this side. This side's going to end up having a repeater right here when I put in the module on that side. So I'm skipping it at that point, and then we're going to throw in some redstone right along here like so, and then like so. I'm leaving this gap open here because that's where the repeater's going to be, and this redstone will all tie together. So I mean, you're thinking, oh, you're missing, like it's not going to work. It will work. You just got to wait till the second module gets added, because if you think of this side here, I don't have the observer on this side, but I have thrown a repeater in there. Now, if this was going to be your only 2 modules, you were just going to build it like this, absolutely yes, you would go here and you would throw this repeater in there, then both sides would be powered. Of course, you would have an observer set up on this side that would run these pistons, an observer set up on this side that runs those pistons. But because we are adding more width to this, we aren't going to need this one right here. And then you'll notice here that the glass carries all the way through in the middle. That just makes it so that you get a nice even distribution on the bars here. If you just continued with the bars along here, then it would cross right here. So if anything did flow or fly this direction, it would get hung up in the bars, and then you wouldn't end up getting them to fall straight through and be able to collect them. So I'm going to add the other module on here, and then I'm going to show you how to attach the side modules. So, okay, as you see, I've got 6 of these modules in place now. We've got 2 rows of 3 modules, and you can see how we've got the repeaters set up here. So the repeater here runs this section all the way down, and it takes care of harvesting both these sides. And then because this is the far edge of it, there are repeaters down that row. And then when we go to build the next module, there'll be repeaters on both sides as it goes down to be able to run the whole thing. So I'm going to build another row of these, and you can kind of have a look-see at how these all are. Ooh, I forgot to put in some dividings here, some dividers in, so let's actually throw those in here real quick, and then we'll dive into adding the next 3 on, and then it'll be starting to add the top modules. And then eventually we're going to have to build in a collection system of some sort here. Now, probably what I'll do is I'll do some type of a water chute that'll run along the front here to a bubble vader that'll shoot up and then load into some hoppers that load into a chest series here, so that we've got a whole pile of chests to be able to store this stuff in. Because I'm thinking I'm going to take this at least 2, if not 3 layers high for this overall build here. So it'll make us a ton of sugarcane, so we'll be able to have lots of storage for whether we need sugar for making our fermented spider eyes, or if we need paper for books or trading with our villagers. We are going to be totally set for paper, as well as rockets. We need paper for rockets as well too. Maybe in the near future here we'll end up starting to build a creeper farm as well too, so we'll just kind of keep an eye on that. And you can just see this stuff just flying out the end here, and that's because we don't have a collection system on this. As it triggers and harvests, it just shoots the sugarcane out the end, and we just picking it up as we're running along here. So I'm going to do the other 3 modules, and then we'll start building it up. Okay, now that we have all 9 modules in here on one level, it's time to expand this upwards now. So the big thing that we got to do here, it starts with these rows that are right here. We need to replace these 2 blocks here, just like so, with packed ice in there. So we're going to grab our packed ice, and we're just going to shoot this right across like so. And we're going to do that on every little section where it kind of joins here with these modules. And it's basically mimicking the packed ice that's down on the lower section. So I'm going to get all the packed ice changed on this. And then we will end up, once we get the packed ice done there, we need to grab our stairs, and we are going to throw stairs at the end here that we are going to be able to set up waterlogged and whatnot, so that we can carry on with our flow of materials running down here. And then once, actually, I don't even think we need the stair here for this one. I think we could just go straight in with water. I think the only one that actually needs the stair is this end one at this end. So I'm just going to plop that one down there, plop that one down there, and we're going to do it over on this side here as well. So then we're going to turn all of that into water sources that are going to sit on top of this rail. And then we're going to have to half slab the top of them. I don't have any water on me right now, but I will show you here in a few minutes. We are going to throw water in here, then we'll half slab them, we'll get everything built, and then once it's all kind of built and in place, you bust out the half slabs that are here after you've placed your flow water. If you try to place your flow water without the half slabs being there, it'll just go straight down into that water and it won't actually carry out a flow. So But I will show you that here in just a few minutes. Let me get the packed ice in place. Let me get the water in place. And then I'll show you kind of what it's like when we go to start to put our flow system in. And you'll get an idea of why you're going to have those slabs there. Okay, now that I have most of one side here completed, I still got to put the top pieces on, the redstone work, and put in some more dirt blocks on here. I just want to show you what this here does. So having the half slabs here actually forces this water to flow out this way. If we didn't have the half slabs here and we went and put the water down right away, it just would have flowed straight down into the water sources that were already there, and it wouldn't carry along like this. So we can continue on here. I can add in another water source here, and because of course the trapdoor, or not the trapdoor, sorry, the pressure plate is here, it prevents the water from backflowing. But now that the flow has been established, you can bust out these blocks, and it will help with any blocks that end up getting, or any of the sugarcane that ends up getting caught will be able to either fall straight down. Sometimes what's down there will jump up when it hits this, and instead of it getting caught in the blocks or anything like that, it'll get sucked up into this water source and be able to flow down. So it just helps with all of the items flowing through the farm here. So that's why we got to have those half slabs in place here. And then I'm going to bust them out of here now too. And that's ready to go. Now, if I was, put a water source on this without the slabs there, again, it would just flow in directly. It might flow like 2 distances. That's it. And then it wouldn't carry on the items beyond the end of this, which, well, of course, we need them to carry the items off to the end. So now it's time to get the rest of this all built up. And next time you see this, I'm going to have all 3 layers of this all built, and then it'll be working on a collection system down at the bottom. Okay guys, as you can see now, we have 3 rows across, 3 deep, 3 high. We are totally set now for enough modules here to be able to crank out some serious sugarcane. And you can hear it firing away and producing sugarcane just flying out the end of this. So now we need to set up a collection system in here and be able to gather up all of these materials. And I did kind of go through and throw some glowstone and stuff in here just to kind of make sure that we didn't have any mobs spawning underneath here. Sugarcane does not rely on, wow, that's loud listening to those pistons firing. Doesn't rely on lighting for being able to grow. However, it is not a bad idea to make sure that we've got things lit up so that we don't have mobs and stuff growing around. So I'm just going to run around here, clean up these torches, and then we'll get a collection system built on this and kind of show you what that's going to look like. And then we'll be all set to turn it into a building and have our fully production farm. Alrighty guys, couple hours later, and we have a collection system and a building built around this, and apparently some mobs inside our cactus fruit farm that want to come and eat us, but they can't because there's a carpet on the ground. That's kind of funny. But it's all done. Let's have a look at what this looks like now. So as we spin around here, so we have a water collection system here, and we put up this glass wall that any of the items that shoot out through each of the ends here, they bang against this wall and they land in this water trough. The water trough shoots them along here to a bubble vader that sends them up to the top, and then it goes into a chest sorting system. And just us finishing off the outside of this and getting it turned into one of our buildings here, we've already got just about 9 stacks. So we're getting some sugarcane. We're doing fantastic with this. So this is it. That's your farm. So takeaways from this: it is 100% lossless. This is never going to lose any sugarcane. You're going to get all of the sugarcane out of this because it's not going to get hung up on anything with this specific design. Other takeaway: this is not a zero-tick farm because, of course, in 1.16, zero-tick doesn't exist anymore. So that's the reason why we are into these much more industrial-style sugarcane farms that we've got here. So this is what you're going to end up having to rely on to be able to get your sugarcane to be able to make whatever potions and whatever books parts that you need to do, your rockets, all that stuff. So keep in mind, you're going to want to make it fairly large, because especially if you're going to be dealing with a lot of rockets from flying around with your elytras, then the more paper you've got, the more rockets you're going to get. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and yeah, thank you. Oh, wow, you're getting a good view of the back of my head. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun slamming this together, and here's another farm completed, getting us closer to our goal of being able to knock down our villagers that we've got in our trading post to be able to get the best trades for them. So we have mushrooms now, we've got sugarcane supplied, we've got some spider eyes from our old spider farm that we've had down below our base. So now we can make the fermented spider eyes. The next step is making our splash potions of weakness. We got the gold farm done. I think next is going to be a tree farm so that we have enough apples. So it'll be an oak tree farm that we're going to be relying on being able to get the drops from to be able to get the apples that we need. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, ring that notification bell, and yeah, thanks for chilling and hanging out. Don't forget to leave a comment on the video, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.